Hi everyone, my name is Kristen, and welcome back to my channel, UXUI Advocate. So today I wanted to do something a little different. I wanted to I wanted to kind of explain what's been going on over the last couple weeks. It's been about a month since I posted on YouTube, and so I have my little good old sticky note with all of the content I need to cover. But I'm going to do a set of different videos. So this first video is going to focus on the group project week, or set of weeks that we completed our secondary portfolio project on. It was a government website redesign. So that was week 13, 14, and 15. So we're going to go over content with that first. I'm not going to share the particular group project that we completed together, but I am going to show a little bit of the individual project that I worked on for the government redesign. So I'm going to try to share my screen. I just got a second monitor, so I'm like techie up in here. And I'm going to show what I've been doing so far. I'm not completely finished with it, so it's in like that kind of mid-fidelity prototype phase, so I still need to like clean it up, add some color, add some pictures to it, but I did want to share what I had so far. So yeah, I'm going to move over and try to share my screen. This is the Cherokee County government website. It looks like it hasn't been updated in quite some time, but I saw it, I found it, and I was like, I really want to be able to update it, adds like better UI, more user-friendly interface, change up all of these like color accessibility concerns that I'm noticing, especially with this section here, that blue on gray. It's kind of hard to read. And then like the words are kind of small. The font is kind of small, and so I knew that I wanted to do something with this site, kind of edit it in some capacity when I found it. So I decided to focus on the Cherokee County website as my project for this set of weeks. With that in mind, I knew that I wanted to update the Cherokee County website, but I needed to do a little bit of desktop research before I even got started, just to see what other government agency websites look like, what their UI was kind of focused on, just kind of like the general idea of what a government website looks like, because I'm not traditionally on them. So I pulled up the ones that I'm traditionally accustomed to, like Tarrant County. They have a very interesting government website. There's some things that I would change about this too, but it is better than the Cherokee County website that I originally showed. Same with USAA. I think that they have really awesome mobile app interface. Their website, their desktop website, is not the best, I feel like, but it is very simple and very easy to read and very easy to use when you're a user, because the purpose of the site is, it specifically tells you what you're doing on the site when you're on the site. So that's also one of the things that I wanted to include when I was redesigning the Cherokee County website, was making it usable and straight to the point for users to come and use the site. So I thought that USAA's website was a really good example of that. Of course, also the WHO, the World Health Organization. I really just love the simplicity of their website. It's, once again, super clean, super straight to the point, amazing hero, and then some key topics, some key articles based off of the content that goes around the world. So I thought that was a really good example. And then also Harris County, their site is pretty updated, pretty clean and user-friendly as well. So yeah, I decided to do a little bit of research on that. Did a lot of different annotations associated with the current Cherokee County website, specifically just about the layout and the lack of usability that's associated with this site. And that all kind of went into my annotations here. I'm going to show you my Figma file. Close this out. So within Figma, I, starting off, created a proto persona focused on kind of the ideal person that I wanted to focus on before I actually did interviews for my ideal person who's going to be using the site. So I came up with Aaron Smith, something super generic, just kind of a starting point. Vague demographics, vague goals and pain points and needs, but like I said, I needed to start somewhere. So I came up with a proto persona, which led me to the annotations like I was talking about. I did a lot of annotating because I've noticed over the last couple weeks, or at least I guess the last 4 months now, I really love annotating, and I love the research side and just kind of investigating before we even get started on the design aspect. So I put a lot of my focus on annotations and usability testing and the initial interviews. So once again, annotations, I won't go into a lot of detail. It's just a lot of like me nitpicking what I felt were issues associated with the current site. I did some user paths based off of the user persona that I created, and I won't go into super detail about that. I don't think I even put it on here. Actually, excuse me, here. This is my user persona. So I did initial interviews with like 3 to 5 people, gave them some simple tasks to complete based off my research plan, and then developed a user persona based off of those interviews. This user path led to, these are the 3 tasks that I had my interviewees to complete. And unfortunately, it was really hard for them to locate and complete these tasks. So I knew that I had my work cut out for me with this website. But that's also why it was so awesome, because there was a lot of a lot of space to be creative and a lot of space to be, just new ideas and provide different ideation associated with the UI. So I was really excited to start with this. So like I said, I did some color testing. Some of the colors failed, the color accessibility test that I had, and so I wanted to make sure that when I was picking out different colors for the site, that I had to make sure that those were color accessible. Same when it came to me developing a mood board. So I had like different inspiration pictures, government related content, some different types of typography for the body copy and the display, color swatches that I was just kind of like playing around with, some different ideas that I had. And then of course, different actual government websites that I really liked their UI for. Excuse me. Of course, going to the WHO and the VA, they updated their site, and it actually looks pretty good for a government website. Same with USA Jobs, excuse me. And then USAA is here, and then we have a lot of different other places that are like government-related sites. So I just made a mood board of different agencies, different inspiration that I felt like I could pull from. And then we also go into the different types of typography. I can admit that typography is one of my weaknesses. Being able to match different types of typography for the header versus a body copy versus like an H2 and an H3, like that is something that I'm struggling with constantly. And so it kind of shows with me going through this process. But yeah, these are my ideas based off of this for the display and the body copy text. And like I said, I came up with a user persona after the initial testing, and then I developed even more annotations on specifically the navigation portion of the UI, because it was really confusing. There was like multiple levels of navigation. So there was a left side nav bar, and then there was a main top nav bar, and it wasn't like a global nav and like a page specific nav. It had the same content even on the homepage, so it was a little confusing for my users when they were going through usability testing. So I wanted to make sure that that was the first focus, is getting through the navigation and making sure that the navigation was correct, or at least more user-friendly. And then I also did annotations for the navigation on mobile as well. So we have desktop here, and then we have mobile, and it's the same concerns. It's a lot of pinching, and like pinching in and out on mobile because it's not responsive. So that was also something that I wanted to focus on, is developing both desktop and mobile and making it a responsive site. So with that, did some card sorting. This is my original inventory with my original navigation setup here. I wanted to look into the information architecture of the site. There wasn't a particular sitemap or anything that displayed like the full site's content. So I just trial and error clicking through different things and at least mapping out the general main nav bar and then the secondary pages. So I just did primary and secondary categories within the navigation. So I had a couple people do some card sorting for me. rearranging the navigation bar and the subcategories, kind of getting an idea of what would be placed in a better way in regards to the navigation. So I had a couple people rearrange some things for me, let me know what would be better when it came to how the navigation should be laid out and why it should be laid out that way. Conversations about that. And then I finally came up with a new redesigned sitemap, and you can see here it's a short and condensed navigation bar, and even from this you'll see once I get to my mid-fi prototype I had to also change it a little bit, but this is what I came up with during this phase of the site mapping, or when I was site mapping. So I had this, I developed I moved some things around, put some things into a footer, made a utility section, and I had that going for me. And then I eventually came to a style tile. So I had a style tile, and I also have a style guide that I'm working on. But I had a style tile, and it just displayed the finalized topography that I wanted to focus on, the primary colors that I wanted to focus on, the logos, and some of the example pictures that I was going to include, as well as what my button states would look like. So like stall, hover, selected, and stalled once again. And you'll see more what that looks like when I get to my mid-fi, my lo-fi, my mid-fi. So yeah, this is just a couple different examples of what I was going through. This is supposed to be back up here. I had paper sketches, I can show that. And then I also did lo-fi version 1, and then I had like a lo-fi / mid-fi version 2 because I really didn't like the first version that I had. And so I can go into more detail of what that looks like. But essentially this is what the homepage, the initial idea of what the homepage would look like. And then this is my version 2 of the mobile homepage with a little bit more detail. I was trying to keep it vague still because I didn't want it to be too detailed since it isn't hi-fi yet. But I wanted to get an idea of what I was doing before I actually started integrating pictures and more color. And then, like I said, for desktop, I started on lo-fi, wasn't quite feeling it, so I moved into a more mid to mid-fi version. Has a little bit more color, or a change of color, and a different structure when it comes to the homepage at least. And I don't know, I felt like I needed some type of change. And so these are all of my different pages that I have based on the lo-fi, hi-fi versus mobile and desktop. And so I came up with a couple different pages. Like I said, first started off on the main navigation pages for that first initial lo-fi version, and then I moved into a more slightly detailed version for a low to mid-fi, so that I could use this version for testing on my users. And so I went through and built out a couple pages based on the user paths that I set during initial testing. And I mean, I think it's pretty good. I like it a lot more than my initial design. So here I have paper sketches or paper drawings of my wireframes, and then I wired everything together to make a paper sketch prototype. And then I did my first initial prototype, my lo-fi prototype, on desktop, and then it slowly integrated into this kind of low to mid-fi prototype. I'm slowly but surely developing my hi-fi. It's taken me a while because I've been procrastinating and trying to get through the next couple weeks of content that I'll go into more detail about. But these are some of the ideas that I have going on so far. But yeah, there's still a lot of work in progress. Same on mobile too. I started with some paper sketches and wired them together to make a really simple wireframe. And then I moved into slightly more detailed work, and then even more detailed work, kind of the going in the direction that I wanted to take my hi-fi to be in. Just haven't gotten there yet. But I'm trying to start on desktop before I move to mobile because it's a little bit easier to go that way. And so yeah, that is my Cherokee County government website redesign. It's going to be a responsive website redesign. And yeah, I just wanted to go into a little bit more detail on what I've been doing for group project stuff or individual project stuff, but during weeks 13, 14, and 15. So I'm going to upload this, my Zoom recording, and then I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about what's been covered on week 16, 17, and 18. We've gotten into portfolio development and coding, which I have a lot of different thoughts about too. So I'm really excited to film those videos as well. But with that, I'm going to end this video here. It's probably like super long at this point. And I just wanted to say I appreciate everybody who's watching, who likes my videos, and I have like 11 subscribers now, which is crazy. I don't know who they are. I haven't figured that out yet. But for those who are watching, I really appreciate it, and I thank you so much for watching and liking my videos. So yeah, thanks y'all.